Couple little tiny Halloween ends things, dude. It's gonna be so hard for me to switch over to saying hit ends instead of kills. Jesus Christ, we've been saying it for fucking 2 goddamn years now. Um, but okay, so you see this, right?
Mhm.
So the first thing is,
That looks like
and
a happy man.
he looks like a nice guy. He really
He looks
does.
like I just tried the new tough acted Tinactin and it cured all my ills.
He looks like one of those Lunesta commercial guys. He's like, do you struggle from opioid constipation? I know I do.
He also looks like a bank commercial. Like
Yeah,
he
it
just got a
does.
loan and he was successful. Or he looks like, are you gelling like a felon?
He does, dude. And it's funny, this dude's name is up here at Taylor Echo Joseph, because he's the one that tipped us off to it. Shout out to you, dude. But this guy named Michael O'Leary, who's an actor, I think he does some Law and Order stuff. I could be mistaken about the show, but anyways, he tweeted, Halloween ends. I'm thrilled to announce that I'll be playing the role of Dr. Mathis in John Carpenter's iconic thriller starring Jamie Lee Curtis, hashtag Halloween Kills. And he does know that David Gordon Green directed it because he mentioned that in a different tweet. But he said he's going to play Dr. Mathis. Dr. Mathis is the guy who in the movie, you remember when the nurse and the doctor, the couple, were talking, and she's like, you need to go in there tomorrow and punch him in the fucking, and he's like, I'm gonna punch him in the face or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Remember that scene?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
That's him that they're talking about. Now in the book, which we have a whole video that's going to come out about the book, but in the book, they go into that a little bit further. So what happened was that guy in that scene worked for Dr. Mathis, and he invited them to like a Christmas party or whatever.
Yeah.
And they showed up, and in the book, it was a fucking swingers party. And they go to Dr. Mathis's house, and he opens the door, and he invited him and his wife to a swingers party to fuck a bunch of people.
Getting funky. I like it.
Yeah. And that's apparently what that conversation was about. McKay said he looks like Gordon Ramsay, and then Demas R said Gordon Ramsay, but also Kathy Bates.
I can see both.
Yeah. That's a fucking great call, you guys. But so that's something. So we have some casting news for Halloween Ends. But on the flip side of that, if you guys have been wondering when is Halloween Ends going to shoot, what's going on with that, with Omicron and all that stuff going on, James Jude Courtney said recently in a cameo that he was like, I think he said something to the effect of, I start shooting in a couple weeks, like on the 27th or something, some January date that he's going to start shooting. But where's this going? What's
V possible vagina? Maybe V possible.
But we did get so Robert Mathis confirmed that. Basically somebody asked him in there, they were like, hey, when do you guys start shooting? And he's like 1/27. So Halloween Ends pretty much officially is going to start somewhere in the last week of January. But Jason Blum did a questionnaire on Twitter where he was talking about the movie. Before I get to that, by the way, one more thing. This Robert Mathis guy, the guy who's going to play Mathis, Dr. Mathis, he also said that the working title of the movie is not actually Cave Dweller, like some people said, but he said, and he confirmed, someone asked,
Dweller of the Cave,
Dave Grohl. Someone said Cave Dweller or Cave Dwellers. And he said, he confirmed it's Cave Dwellers, which kind of flips that on its head a little bit, right? Like you think Cave Dweller, you think they're talking about Michael, but if they say Cave Dwellers, there's more people dwelling in that fucking cave than just Michael.
If you say Cave Dwellers, I just think of a bunch of big fat nerds playing MMOs in their basements. Cave Dwellers. I mean, I'm not saying that we wouldn't be. I mean, hey, I love the nerd culture, whatever, but I'm just saying, like, that's what I think of. He's like, oh, you're a fucking cave dweller. You've never touched a tit in your life. It's like, yeah, so.
Yeah,
Mr. Perfect.
I saw this Instagram account said they made a joke. They were like, when your family asks you why you can't just drink without completely blacking out, and he put up the clip from Dumb and Dumber. He was like, yeah. So what are you, Mr. Perfect?
That's right. I don't think he's gonna get that message, Joe. I mean, he's got worms in his apartment.
I got worms. But here's another one, and this dude's a follow of the channel. Nice guy, Ray Malaber. He asked, with the surge, is Halloween Ends going to start filming and be released on schedule? And what Jason Blum said was, so far, yeah. We are like the only ones shooting. My views on Omicron are extreme. If I shared them, my PR team would most likely burn my house down with me in it.
Ooh, that's not well. Yeah. Keep those thoughts to yourself, Mr. Blum. You don't want to have any bad negativity surrounding this release. And by the way, James Jude Courtney is going to be fine. He essentially has a face covering.
He's good. He's solid.
He's good. He's fucking fine. Like if anybody's safe, it's that guy.
Which
right there.
and I don't want to get into what Jason Blum's views are.
I don't care
on
what they are as
Omicron,
long as the movie
but
gets fucking made. I don't give a
yeah,
shit.
yeah, that's the thing. But he says so far, but it's interesting that he says they're like the only one shooting, which is scary to me because it's like, okay, if you're the only one shooting and your views are extreme on the situation, if one little thing happens, like if one person catches it, which so many people are right now,
Yeah.
and shit gets shut down, the way I'm going to put this is I think that there's a very good possibility that Halloween Ends gets delayed. I think we're in that stratosphere now.
I would imagine it's definitely. I mean, look, I'm going to be optimistic as anybody can be, but I think that it's. Look, Halloween Kills was delayed. What I think will happen though is if it does get delayed and if things get bad and it takes a turn for the worse, I think they're not going to delay it to a point where they're going to be like, well, we need it in theaters, so we're just going to keep delaying it until the theaters, if the theaters get magically back to where they need to be. I think that it's going to be your home release and simultaneous release right away, like they should have done with Halloween Kills.
Yeah,
like back a long time ago. They didn't need to really delay it. They could have done what they did with Peacock. They could have jumped on that cock real early, and it was ready.
I mean, and I guess the question that we're asking here is so if shooting is delayed this time, so you're in a different situation than you were last time. So because with Halloween Kills, they were able to complete the movie before the surge, like it didn't shut them down. Like they got the movie done, right? They had it in the can, and then they couldn't release it because people couldn't go to theaters. The situation with Halloween Ends is, are they going to be able to finish making the movie? Mm-hmm. So like that's the question. So like if they don't finish making the movie in time, obviously it's going to get delayed and probably a full year at best. So, but the other question is, what if they finish making it? Okay. Yeah. And there is no Omicron issues and they get it done and they have it made and it's in the can. And then we're in the middle of a surge and other people are
like
pulling out
the soft drink.
Yeah. Surge. Or
It's coming back, bitch.
Squirt. I love Surge, but like, imagine this: if they shut down movie theaters again, which, by the way, huge shout out to Scream because they're getting these huge numbers in Toronto. There's a lot of places in the world where movie theaters are shut down, and Scream is still killing it. Yep. But here's the question: so, say they get the movie made. If they have the movie made, they have it in the can, and then theaters are shut down when it's supposed to release next October of 2023. Then the question is, I think this time, I think they may actually just release it on VOD. They may just release it on Paramount or Peacock this time and not even fuck with the theater. I don't know.
I imagine. Look, I think it's where it should have gone anyway. I mean, I think Halloween Ends. I don't think it suffered for being released, or I'm sorry, Halloween Kills suffered for being released on Peacock and being in the theater at the same time. I think that what you did was you got a larger audience to watch your movie, which was a good thing. You even got people that weren't hardcore Halloween fans to watch your movie because there was nothing else to watch and it was free with the sign up on Peacock. So why the fuck not? Let's have some fun and shake our titties. Or $4.99 or whatever. Yeah, it did good. It did good. I think what's going to happen is Halloween Ends is probably definitely going to get done. It's going to get made. And then what they're going to do is they're going to decide, hey, you know what happened is we got like kind of some backlash when we didn't release Halloween Kills the first time and we kept delaying it. Then we released it on Peacock anyway. And people were like, why didn't you do this a while ago when people really kind of needed it when we were in the middle of a really bad situation? And that could have taken off, a lot of people, got them away from dealing with all the craziness in the world. But yeah, I think releasing on a VOD, I just think it's smart. And I think it's one of those things you can still exist simultaneously. Like the theaters can still survive. And then the at-home streaming platforms can benefit from it too. There's no reason why it has to be one or the other. We're not fucking the Three Musketeers fighting the French throne. It's okay. It's time for a change. And that's how it always goes. Either roll with the change or get eaten up. Like, that's just what's going to work. I mean, that's what's going to happen. I mean, Blockbuster didn't learn that. And guess what they're doing? They're fucking stuck in Oregon.
This is what my prediction is. My prediction is if the movie gets finished, that's the biggest question to me is not what happens after the movie's finished. If they're able, because like you said, they're like the only people filming right now, because regardless of how mild Omicron is for a lot of people or whatever, the fact is if somebody gets it, they're out.
Right.
And you can't shoot a movie that way. If they get it,
that's why the airlines are canceling their staff.
Right. The biggest question to me is, do they finish filming on time? Now, that's the giant question mark. That's the Riddler question mark. Now, if they do finish filming on time, at that point, my prediction is hell or high water, that movie comes out October this year. No doubt about it. I think it will.
I think that they realized they made a mistake by not releasing it, in what was it, 2020, when they should have released
all the leaks and shit.
Yeah, they should have already released it. They should have done that thing with Peacock. They should have had that thing worked out. Of course, they could have been ironing out details with that whole deal. I don't know, but either way, they're not going to miss that train again. And now after Halloween Kills and everyone's back on board and they're like caught up with it and they're like, holy shit, I want some more. They're not going to wait another fucking year to release it. There's no way. I think that, Jason Blum is probably going in it with the same idea that he had with Halloween Kills when he said, no matter what, it's going to come out. Like, no matter what, that has to happen. If it has to be exclusively VOD or if it's going to be exclusively in the theaters, it's going to come out. And, he was true to his word and it did come out. So, yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah. Anthony DePuzzo says Jason Blum said Halloween Ends won't be going to Peacock. Theaters only first, which I agree with. The window is already shortened. That changes enough. So I do remember him saying something to the effect of like, we would like to just do theaters this time around. But I mean, who knows what's going to happen at the end. One other thing that came out from this Jason Blum Q&A is this guy, Jay. His name's Jay, by the way. He says that DJ guy, 28, says, can we get a special edition 4K box set of the new Halloween trilogy once Ends comes out? And Jason Blum says, very possible. Possible. So that's something that's interesting. And I won't find it on here, but I will say
I can see that. Yeah, like the new edition of well, yeah, because didn't they release didn't they have maybe they didn't, the Christopher Nolan three movie set when it was just Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. I know they're part of the larger Batman universe, but those were in the Nolan universe.
Yeah. And like, so here's a question though, like, this is technically not a trilogy, right? Like, technically, it's a quadrilogy with the original Halloween involved in it. I don't know if they just released Halloween 2018, the other two, but it will get a 4K release. What I will tell you, dude, is that we recently, I was waiting until we bought the house before I got it, but I finally got, the big TV I've been wanting.
Yeah.
You know what sucks about having the 75-inch fucking TV, dude, is that when you watch streaming services on it, if they're not in 4K, if you watch like Hulu Live Sports or whatever, it looks like fucking donkey dick. It looks like shit. So like now I'm in the position where I wasn't gonna do it, dude, but now I'm gonna go buy a fucking 4K player. And I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna buy a 4K player and I'm gonna buy like my favorite movies on it. So I'll probably actually end up buying that to put on it. But sorry, what were you say?
No, I think that most of those 4K movies are kind of a ripoff anyway. I just think it's bullshit. You have to have this extra shit to even really enjoy it. And even when you do enjoy it, even though when you see it, the thing about 4K versus Blu-ray to me is when there's not a big significant jump in quality. It's just a couple of extra pixels. Like now when you watch a VHS movie and then you watch like a Blu-ray, it's ginormous. Like you're like, holy shit, it's so crystal clear. They haven't got to, it's the same thing with, in my opinion, if you look at the jump in technology from like Xbox One and Xbox Series X, you know what I'm saying? There's not much graphical improvement, but I bought the 4K. I think I was like Ghostbusters. I bought 4K just because I want to say I own it, but it's more just to be like, oh, I own the most ultra high definition fucking thing you got.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, but is it 80 bears? Like, no, not really. I might have spent like $15 more than I should have.
Well, that was my whole thing. Like, I didn't have a TV worthy of a 4K investment, but like now that I do, I'm like, I'm seeing shit and I'm like, oh man, it makes such a goddamn difference when you have the right movie on. So now my whole stance is flipped. I might start collecting physical media again. But, the cool news there is that we're probably going to get a cool little trilogy box set from them because he said so he said very possibly about that. But earlier in this, and I won't find the exact tweet, but somebody asked him, will we ever fucking see the original ending of Halloween 2018? Like, the one that was shown to test audiences?
Yeah, they have it.
Yeah, they have it. And he said, possibly. Now, with this, he said very possibly. With that, he said possibly. So to me, he knows what it is. He knows they have it on fucking film somewhere. And there's no squiddly diddly fucking dewberry fuckville farts knocking to Mike Tyson's fucking birdcage. We're going to see that eventually, but they're going to package it. So you have to pay for it. And then we're going to get it that way.
Yeah. I don't know. The Halloween 2018 original ending would be nice to have. If you're a collector, it's not really necessary, I guess, for the overall story, but it's still nice to have it. If you're going to get the ultimate holy shit package, you want all of it. It's the same thing I don't need to do it. But I'm going to, at some point, when I get the money to do it, or when I get around to doing it, I'm going to go buy or when I don't even know if it's out, but the Ghostbusters gift set where it's got all the three Ghostbusters.
It's expensive, dude, but it looks cool.
How much is it?
I don't remember, but I remember going, ooh, no.
I'm gonna sell my girlfriend. She's gonna work on the street. I'm gonna turn her out. No,
because it comes in like an ecto trap or whatever the fuck.
No,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
it comes in like a ghost trap.
Yeah,
it looks cool as shit. But I was like, I'll turn that bitch out. Like, I swear to God, I'll trick her out. No, I'm kidding. No, but I do want to get that. I don't need it, but I mean, I wanted to have all the special features. I wanted to have all the commentaries on it. I do want to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife with all the extra stuff in it. Like, you know, I'll watch the commentary on that. I want to hear what Reitman has to say about filming process and see if they get Bill Murray or Dan Aykroyd or any of those guys on there. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Scream 4, by the way, there's the chat was saying it's 24 to 25 million is what they spent on it, and it's already made 35 million. So
Scream
like,
5, you mean?
Yeah, Scream 5 is definitely going to get its money back. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's interesting, dude, because like we're getting the highest numbers we've almost ever gotten in a lot of places, and there's a movie in theaters only right now, and it's doing fucking well. It's dwarfing what Scream 4 did when there was no fucking virus. So I mean, that says something.
Scream 4 sucked. But anyway, that's why.
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael! What are you gonna do on October 31st?